Aloha all. It's been a while. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, here we are, number 64. And I'm doing this on embracing anxiety, turning our view from being a curse to a blessing of our anxiety. Now, anxiety and panic attacks are due to our sensitivities. Often we consider this a curse. We have thoughts like, why does this happen to me? Or why can't I be normal? I often hear this from clients that they're like, I just hate that this happens to me. And I want you to know with those thoughts, when anxiety begins, like if you notice that first little stirring of unease, and when your mind engages and it right away wants to block it or put its hand up or say this is bad or judges it, it's going to intensify it right in that moment because you're in a sense taking a part of you and you're denying it. And we have to embrace it. So this is why we're calling it Embrace Anxiety. I want you to learn that every human emotion that you have needs to be accepted as this is part of the path. This is part of the experience of being human. It's all okay. Some we prefer over others, but to notice when we're judging, because we are simultaneously the child from its first breath, that baby, through adolescence, through toddler adolescence to the adults we are now. And we constantly are living this simultaneous existence. And there are times that this anxiety attack, which is our emotional body, which is our heart trying to communicate to us, that is our wounded inner child from a different time in our past where we were either abused or neglected, and it comes out now. So I am saddened how common anxiety and panic attacks are. And being on the mainland for these 6 years, so many people taking antidepressants. And again, I am not judging that. If you are in a place that you need some cruise time, in a sense, to take as mild of an antidepressant as you can, so make sure you say that to your doctor, then don't shame yourself. Just do it. But I will invite you to eventually, the goal is to get off of that. And in turn, if we can learn self-care tools, and I'm going to offer some today specifically for anxiety because this has been what's up for so many people right now. It's probably my most panic texts where I immediately need a session. So I used to wonder, looking at this, that is this a generational thing? Because I notice my daughter's generation and younger that they tend to have these challenges and they just kind of freak out or shut down or want to drink or something, where my generation, we would just push through. I don't know if that was good or bad. I don't know, but it's how we did it. So I've had to learn through my own evolution to be more patient and compassionate and not say just push through, because it's in that moment or it's that thought process or that judgment of saying, why can't you get through this? What's wrong with you? That if we say those messages to ourselves or to someone we care about, that it doesn't make them feel good. It doesn't make them stronger. Oh, they're saying push through, let's do that. I'm certain if you were in the place that you could push through, you would have done it by now. And then I look to see, okay, so what's different in our world? I mean, so many things are changing. It's like, first off, this technology is overstimulating everyone. And I actually see this. I know I've talked about this before in podcasts, but I want you to hear this and then do a little bit of a technology fast if it rings true for you. So people that tend to get, often get panic attacks or anxiety, are you in front of a screen, your phone or a computer or a tablet a lot, or a TV? Like, because that nature takes the element of human interaction out, and it just stimulates your brain. It's just a mental process. And what it does is when there is a human in front of us, where there is a interactive component, we literally take in the person through our heart and through our gut. So where you hear about that felt good or that didn't feel right or this is my gut instinct, those things are eliminated. And so many of these people, even now with COVID, like it's not even our choice to not have that interaction, but things are more on Zoom, and my counseling sessions are all on Zoom. Anyway, so that is something, but what can we do if there's one person you live with, or you have your little pod of people that are safe, like put the phones away, put the screen time away, and just interact. Do old-fashioned games, like make it interactive. Talk to each other, hold their hand, put your hand on their shoulder, on their knee. When you're talking, have that touch element is so important for anchoring us in our body, out of our mind. Anxiety attacks are created because we're giving too much power to the mind and we're out of balance. We need to anchor it into our body, into our sensational feeling of our body, of temperature, texture, tight, loose, the breath, all of those things. So also, when we're in front of someone, like that's cultivating our instincts and our intuitions. So again, that gut feeling is important. It's important to teach our kids and these newer generations. How did that feel after that? When you have conversations at dinner and check-in. For my students, I've been filling in for a class at Avenue 5. I'm so grateful. I love my students. And it's like, is it part of aesthetics? Well, it is, because this is life and they need to be present and balanced for their clients. So we do a check-in. What's your feeling word, or what are 2 words of gratitude? Like to do that with your kids, with your partner, with yourself, to journal that every day, because it makes you in the moment. Just drop in and remember you're a body. You're not just a mind. It's not like you're leaning forward with your head. Like, I want you to stay upright. I want you to stay balanced and aligned. So to check in the moment, what am I feeling? And to know what feeling words are. I mean, I actually passed out a little smiley face of different emotions because the students were all saying like 4 of them. I'm like, there's such a range of human experience that you're missing out on. It's such subtleties of emotions, of feelings, that like engage in that, because it's wide and it's wonderful. And kids, why not show that to kids? Like, teach them those things now. Also, this isn't, I don't like speaking about exclusive gender, but I have counseled many men, or someone who is the primary provider for their family. So their anxieties come up, where the common denominator is not only are they judging themselves harshly, so remember that's that first thing, is I'm not doing my job, but their belief is my most basic purpose is to provide and protect my family or my partner or my child. And now that element is shaky. It's like we're living on quicksand, so there's not a lot of stability there. There's so many unknown factors up for all of us. I really want you to hear that. Just hear that and know, like, yes, we are dealing with these changes, and I need to drop back a pace. I need to take a few more breaths and say, good for me. Yes, I made it through this day, and I had some accomplishments, however little or big they are. It's like give yourself the strokes for what you're doing. Like, we're literally like, can I keep myself or those I love from severe illness and death? Like, we're hearing these things. I'm vaccinated. I was never into flu shots or any of that. With my daughter, I waited till she was a certain age before she got vaccinated because I wanted her immune system strong enough, and I didn't inundate her with a lot of vaccines at once. Like, I really did my research then. And then people are saying, why do I believe in vaccines now? This is a whole nother story, people. Like, do you know that this may be our way of life? We may need boosters for the rest of our life. And am I going to do them? Yes, I'm going to do them. So supposedly 8 months after your second vaccine, they're saying to get a booster. Mine's in December. I'm going for it. I don't have any issues with it. Does it protect us fully? Are there breakthrough cases? Yes, all that's true, but the percent in proportion to the whole is so less that please consider vaccines. Just consider it. I believe the more people that have these protections and these antibodies, it's going to help all of us. But I'm going to get off of this right now. Let's go back to anxiety. But this is a major cause of this. We're looking at things about, are we going to have our jobs, right? So part of it, I've told my students, this is, in a strange way, this is one of the best times in their lives when they graduate. People can't get people to work for them. So it's causing the big corporations to pay higher, which I love that. But we need people to like get off of welfare and unemployment and get back to work in safe environments, with masks, with distancings, with whatever we have to, however this world is now, is what we have to do. But these jobs, like there are many jobs out there, and maybe it's a time, regardless of your age, that you can contemplate. Is this my life purpose? Does this bring out the fullest part of me? Because I've worked with many clients that get anxiety attacks while they're at work because the job is not supporting who they are. So the job is the issue, or the partnership, the relationship is the issue, or the living environment is the issue. If you're getting consistent panic attacks from the same trigger, definitely look at that trigger and see how can we adjust that so it meets your needs more. That is very important. So, also, we hear our headings about climate change. Now, it blows my mind. We're experiencing these unprecedented, bizarre weather patterns, and we're saying this isn't adding to our everyday anxiety. Like my students in their teens and their 20s and their 30s, like no wonder that they're stressed out all the time. It's like, because how are we going to do this? Everything's becoming a political war. Are there people that politicians are actually in denial to push their own money profiting agendas, saying, oh no, there's no such thing as climate change? Like there are some things, this is true. I do not want species of animals to die. I don't want my generations after me to die because we don't have clean water and we don't have clear air and our earth is overheated and we don't have the resources. I read these things to the point that I can. There are some days I just read part of the headline and delete it because I don't have the stability inside. And other days I could read full articles, Washington Post, New York Times, whatever it is, The Guardian. Like I'll read things and read all of it. And then I feel it in my body, in my gut. Is this true for me? Is this true for me? And that's what matters to me. As I take science, I take information, I take stimulus outside of myself through someone's opinion, someone's conversation, and then I breathe it in and see how it lands in my body. But my heart and my gut is what I trust most. So I'm listening to science. This is how I decided on the vaccine for myself. I read all the articles. I would breathe it in. How does that fit? Does it land in my body? Does it feel like truth to me? This is how we learn to cultivate that body awareness. So I'm hoping some of these conversations help to, instead of create panic in you, that it helps to inspire a deeper questioning. It really is at different times asking, is this true for me? And again, the mind changes. It changes with time, with circumstances. So it's always, is it true for me? So the good news is there are actual doable solutions and life tools that will aid in our ever-changing reality. And that's what I want to offer you in this podcast today. So, my view and experience of helping others through anxiety and my own personal growth and journey of panic attacks. I ended up in the ER. I had 2 panic attacks that I thought were heart attacks, and I have learned, okay, these are the signs. This is how I get myself through this. It has been 7 years or so since I've had any type of a panic attack because I know certain tools. So one thing nutritionally, if I haven't mentioned this before, one of my favorite things for people is, well, first off, it's as simple as a chemistry in the body. Are you eating too much sugar and carbs? Do you have enough protein, whole grains, fresh fruits and vegetables, and healthy fat? And specifically proteins, lean proteins, and healthy fat like nuts, seeds, avocados, salmon, coconut oil, olive oil, things like that. That's very important because, as I've said before, blood sugar can present itself like an anxiety attack. So look at that first. Second off, and make certain you're eating enough throughout the day, eating often enough. So don't eat big meals. Always eat half of what you're going to eat so that your stomach isn't so full and heavy. And I'd rather you have smaller amounts of food throughout the day, every 2 to 3 hours, even if you're eating a few bites of something healthy, is very important. Nutritionally, B vitamins are good for the nervous system. Omega-3 oils are very good for the nervous system and keeping that kind of cool and stability in the body for your body temperatures, for your skin to make it beautiful. It helps with the lipids and oils in the body. Healthy fats helps the brain be clearer. It helps your nervous system be coated and calm. So omega-3s become our friend in like 2,000 milligrams a day. And then the tincture that I like, which you might have to get on Amazon unless your health food store has it, and I prefer it in a tincture over the capsules, is called Motherwort. So I always keep it for years, years and years. I'm telling you, for 20 years, I've always had a bottle of, Motherwort tincture in my bathroom in case someone's visiting or I have anxiety or something feels like I need a little more nourishment, a little more support. I need to create a little more of a womb experience. That's what Motherwort does. It doesn't interfere with any of your medications. If you have high blood pressure or any of those things, don't worry about it. It has a bitter taste to it. You could either mix it in a juice or in water, but I just do 2 squirts of the dropper in my mouth. And it's fine. And you could do that 2 to 3 times a day, and it will help. So now we're going to deal with other energetics of the cause of panic attacks and anxiety and how we can embrace this. So I found that it's a perspective and a belief if you're feeling restricted or confined in your view of life or a specific situation. Like if it needs to be this way or this panic happens to you. Like if anything is out of the ordinary, like if my place is chaotic and I grew up with chaos and that causes my panic attack, or if there's a lot of traffic on the road and I feel trapped and I need to get out of there, or those big scary bridges that always scared me as a kid. It feels like going under a monster. I can't do that. Like these are all things that can trigger because it's a limited view. So the first step to healing is acknowledging that this is a fact. And take a deep, cleansing breath. Inhale, exhale. Now, each time the mind creates a thought of one of these things that are initiating anxiety, if we do that break of that cleansing breath, just start to get into the habit that when you're having uncomfortable thoughts or tight thoughts or things that are scary to you or doubting or judging, to take that cleansing breath. And what you're doing is, in a sense, you're highlighting that thought. And you're actually using your breath to train your body to notice, what I just thought about. So what that's doing is it's like a commercial break. It's a pause where it takes you from being in it to stepping back to being able to witness it, and then asking yourself, is this true? Is this true that this bridge is going to swallow me up? Is this true that I am trapped in this traffic? Is this true that this messy room is going to take me out? Is this true? And then also ask inquisitive questions to help unravel this stagnant belief or this pattern of thought. So, in taking charge of our lives and our reality, after acknowledging that we're stuck or confined in our thoughts, it is time to open our frame. And looking at anxiety instead of, it's coming up again, damn it, it's going to take me out. Because as soon as you have that first speck of sensation and the panic comes in and you start with that, I can't do this, I don't want this, and you do that judgment and you block it, it's going to intensify it. It's like putting gasoline on a fire. So instead of fearing it as a curse, I want you to see it as a gift. What these anxiety attacks are is it's your soul, it's your personal guardian angel, and it's basically saying, wait a minute, we need support right now. We need support. We is all of those steps from that first breath of birth, toddler, child, adolescent, young adult to adult. All of those things. We, this inner family, needs support. And I want you to notice as this happens to stop and take your deep inhale and exhale and ask yourself, what is needed in this moment? What do I need in this moment? And wait for an answer. What do I need? Look and investigate. Anxiety is a communication tool of the mind. Now, in Chinese medicine, the mind and the heart are on the same meridian. They actually say that the heart is referred to as the dropped mind. So if we're having anxiety and insomnia and spinning thoughts, that means we can also have heart palpitations, high blood pressure, racing heart. So what we want to do is drop those thoughts through that cleansing breath and feel it like this wave of energy that drops into our body, into our heart, and then it could even drop into our dantian, into our belly, even anchoring us further. So if we're framing it as the anxiety is our heart saying something is wrong and we need support, again, we're asking, what do you need in this moment? What do I need in this moment? And if it seems chaotic, if it seems like it's too much in that moment, do a personal timeout. Take 5 or 10 minutes just to Remove yourself from the environment, from the trigger, from whatever's happening, if you can. Now, even if you're at work, you could say, I'm taking a 5-minute timeout. I have to go to the bathroom. No one knows what's going on. But go in the bathroom. Do your cleansing breath. Try to notice, where do I feel sensation in the body? If you're standing, notice the pressure under the feet. Do you have more pressure in the toes, in the heels, on the instep? Are you favoring one side of the body or the other? Because what we want to do is focus our mind now, get it from spinning and harness it. Or if you're sitting, where is there contact with your seat? Can you feel how the chair is on the pressure of your back? Can you feel, do you have one side of the hips or the buttocks that is leaning more towards than the other? Like, really notice. And what is happening is our heart is our emotional body. It is the home of our eternal inner child. Now, we know this is one of my specialties in counseling is we heal the past. We heal traumas, anxieties, depressions by doing time traveling. We do some inner child work, and it is not esoteric, it is real. So, this is the simultaneous existence of all of these lives. Remember, I've said this. And if there was a trauma or specific neglect that happened at a certain age or an event in your life, what is happening is your current attack, your current anxiety is happening because our inner child or our heart cannot see outside of ourselves. It can't see, wait a minute, I'm in my 50s, this is what's happening, I'm not trapped as a child, I'm not being locked in my room, I'm not being beaten, I'm not being neglected. It doesn't know the difference. It just has some external trigger is making me feel this familiar emotional situation, and it's as if I'm blind. My inner child, my heart is blind. It just feels that trigger of panic. And it's like it's happening all over again, repetitively, in this moment. Now, this isn't logical, but this is how the mind processes. There is no linear time. There's only familiar sensations and feelings that trigger us. So now, another tool is to imagine yourself as a small child sitting on your lap as an adult, the conscious, beautiful, compassionate being that you are now. And ask yourself, be curious, how old is this child that you're responsible for? And whatever your first response is, even if this seems crazy, humor me. Don't judge it. Just whatever you see, whatever age. That child could be 2, could be 5, could be 11, could be 12, could be 17, could be 22. We don't know the age, but just see it. Because your mind will help you with images and feelings, multi-dimensional sensories that help you heal past wounds. So I want you to then sense or ask this child what they're feeling and what they need. And listen, take a moment to listen. Now, sometimes it's a very young child, or it's a traumatized child, or it's a teenager that doesn't want to communicate with you, that doesn't trust you, that you even care. So they're not able to communicate verbally. So then if you were in charge as the babysitter or the parent of this child that you love so dearly and you see them suffering, how would you comfort them in the moment? And then I want you to comfort yourself that way. Sometimes it's literally an embrace or a self-hug. And if you hug yourself tightly, if you're in the middle, in the apex of this panic attack, to squeeze your arms very tightly for a few moments, this is a release for the parasympathetic nervous system. It will actually help you to feel. So you're going to get out of your spinning mind and you're going to feel the squeeze of this holding of yourself. And I want you to do that until you feel this warmth from the inside out. And it will happen. And other tools we can utilize is thinking or out loud saying a word or words. What does this little child need? How can we support them? They would want to hear things like, you're safe. I'm right here. I'll always protect you. I'm not going anywhere. You can say, if this is scary for you, let's go somewhere that's more comfortable. Let's move away from that scary person. And you are taking charge. So what happens is, if your panic attack is so severe that you're feeling paralyzed, I want you to try to witness why is your inner child, your emotional body, your heart, why are they so afraid? And speak or think in those terms from your adult self. Like, try to look to see, what do they need? What is happening? Another tool, they call it redirecting. So this is where you take yourself out of the situation. Just remove yourself if you can. Again, if you're in traffic in a car, you can't. Maybe you could pull over to the side if it's possible. But somehow, if you can go outside or look outside in nature, so that's one tool. Another one is if you could do some light aerobic exercise to actually force yourself into the body sensations. You could do jumping jacks. You could move from side to side, do a swaying, just to get the sensations more prominent in your body. And then when it reaches a less acute state and you begin to feel your heartbeat, to feel your body, okay, I'm calmer now. I could feel my heart still racing, but I'm aware of my heart racing. And this is a meditation. So I want you to notice anywhere that you feel that connection, as we were talking about before, to the seat or to the ground, and take a couple of inhale, exhale. And I want you to notice the rhythm of your breathing. As you're breathing, inhale and exhale. While you're feeling this rhythm of your breath, look outside. Either watch the birds, watch the clouds, watch the trees. And this is that pattern of a third attention anchoring inside your body and 2/3 outside of you. You could be watching your pet or your child or your family, or you could be at work, and at that point, you're moving things, you're doing things, you're noticing the sensation as you're typing on the computer while you're breathing, while there's 1/3 attention anchored in the body. And this gives the mind so much of a purpose that it has no time to spin out and fill you with doubts and fears, because it's now focusing on 2/3 outside itself, focusing on the sensations in the body and the rhythm of the breath. And you begin to feel that the parts of you are unified and supported. The last tool, we know I love journaling. Set your phone for 10 minutes, and I want you to journal your experience like you were the commentator of this, like you were the witness from that perspective. What happened? How did you support your anxiety, your inner child, your heart? What tools were effective? And use this like a scientist. Okay, skillful means. That means I have a whole toolbox of tricks. I just gave you 4 or 5 of them. And sometimes some things don't work, and sometimes they do. So what happened and worked in this one? So this is framing. Remember that our panic attacks and our anxiety is our guardian angel. This is the communication of our heart saying we are sensitive. And there was a time in our life that our inner child, our past, that we were neglected and we didn't have the attention that we needed. And now, with the compassionate, wonderful adult, you have all this nurturing, You have all these tools, and you will heal this. We can heal our past. We could time travel. We can actually unify our mind, our emotions, our spirit, our body. And this, I promise you, will not happen for the rest of your life. One day you'll look for that inner child and it will be integrated and it will be happy and it will run off and play. And when you're ready, maybe another age comes up that wants some attention, that you could be the parent or the guardian or the healthy authority you always wished you had, but you're doing these self-soothing, self-healing tools. So we're never going to be bored. I guarantee this is going to strengthen your self-confidence. It's going to give you more stability and compassion for yourselves first, and you will be so much more available for those you love outside of yourselves. And thank you for listening. So I do want to say, as I always do, to email me, samana@spaluna.com. Or you could text, which my phone is always on silent, so I don't carry your time frame, 808-283-7587, and tell me how these podcasts help you or affect you or what topics you'd like me to say, and I will be there for you. And thank you. And I am taking counseling clients. Since COVID, I was doing a discount. I'm kind of back to my old prices, where one session is $100, 2 sessions are $150, so that's $75 a piece. If you're going to be more consistent, either weekly or even every other week, you could buy 4 for $270, and then that works out to $67.50. And I don't care if you gift that to someone or keep that yourself. And we will do Zoom or FaceTime, or if you just want phone calls, we can do that also. And I thank you very much. And gratitude for your listening, and aloha, blessings.